Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to somewhat remote services at Temple Sinai in Reno, Nevada. I'm Rabbi Benjamin Zober, and I'm glad that wherever you are, which is somewhere out there in internet land, you are joining me this evening. The roads here are still not great, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was okay and safe and didn't feel like they had to rush to get to services or risk anything or miss out because they couldn't make it in the weather. So here we are, remote and kind of like old times. But I'm really glad that you are here with me this evening and ready to bring in Shabbat. And so services will be a little shorter because I wanted to do a Torah service and I'd been preparing my Torah for the week, but was not really keen on carrying a Torah through the snow to the car and then home. So we will skip that part this evening, but hopefully next week we will be back with Torah and all of you and all the wonderful things that we usually have. So, as is one of our customs, we are going to be praying tonight out of Mishkan Tefillah, a Reform Siddur. And as you can see at the bottom there, if you need a copy, sinaireno.org/live, and you can download it for yourself. One of the fun things for me is when I go places and there's a copy of Mishkan Tefillah, I always open it up to see which synagogue someone took it from and then never returned it to. So this evening's service is brought to us, my Siddur is brought to us by the good folks at KK B'nai Israel Rockdale Temple, opening our doors to you and our hearts to tradition. Thank you from the Memorial Fund. So that's our little special, our first plug of the evening and sponsorship. So we begin this evening well, if anyone out there has a book, it's page 8. Otherwise, you can flip to it in your virtual Siddur, and we have a reading on begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. I'm running the I'm doing tech for myself and doing all of this, so I'm trying to get all these lovely comments up for everyone to share, but we will see how it goes. So I apologize if you share something lovely and folks aren't necessarily able to see it. We will turn at this time to the beginning of our songs for Kabbalat Shabbat. We will begin on page 10 with Hine Ma Tov. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יררי יררי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יררי יררי. And we move right on down to the next song on the page, or the next page in your virtual books. Ma yafa hayom, how lovely today is. Ma yafa hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafa hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. And our next song is found on page 12 in your books, if you have them. Lechu Naranana, it is our musical setting for Psalm 95. Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana l'Adonai. Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Letzo Yishenu, Nikad Mafanav Todah. Naria, Naria, Letzo Yishenu, Nikad Mafanav Todah. Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana l'Adonai. Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana, Lechu Naranana l'Adonai. And we turn now to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. I thought I had a guest there in our upper sanctuary. We turn now to page 20 for Lecha Dodi, as is our custom. We will be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And I invite you, when we get to the 9th and final verse, to rise and turn to the entrance of whatever space you're in, whether it is your snowy little spot downtown like the rabbi, or wherever you are this evening, hopefully warm and dry. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, ushmo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'letehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki mekor ha-brecha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yadadai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, hitorari, kiva orech kumiuri. Uri, uri, shir daveri, kvod Adonai, alaik nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret pala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emuneh am seula, boi kala, lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yadadai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekabela. You may be seated. We turn now to Chatzi Kaddish, our little break and transition in the action here. It can be found on page 26, and I do invite you to join me. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, v'alma divrach lirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agala, b'agala, uv'izman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach, le'alam v'me'alaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shmei d'kudesha berichu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'yama v'meru. Amen. And we turn now to the Baruch Hu, which can be found on page 28, and I invite you, if you are able, to please rise. I apologize for not rising, but if I do, well, you get the idea. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach. Le'olam va'ed, hamevorach, hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. And we continue on page 31. We read together, praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. And we turn to the very next page for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Amcha Ahavta Torah umitzvot Chukim umishpatim Otanu limarata Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokvenu Kumenu nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu V'orech yameinu Uvahem nage yomam v'layla Nage yomam v'layla V'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu li'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael. And we turn to the next page for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We continue together with the V'ahavta, which can be found on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvrechtecha v'derech, u'shachbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'hisharecha, leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'item kedoshim Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hoteti etchem Mieretz Mitzrayim. Liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. If you would, we will continue on page 38. We will continue together in the English. I was looking for a second going, oh, how many responsive readings did I do, thinking I would have other people with me? All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. And we continue then with Mi Chamocha, which can be found on page 40. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, pokei ayam lifnei Moshe, zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. V'nemar kifar Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo me'ad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. We turn now to page 43, and we will read at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haparei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And on a night like this, where it's cold and there is weather coming in, we think about those who are lying down in places that are not so secure. And we give a little extra prayer for them to be safe. And we turn now to page 44, or the next page in your virtual Sidors, for Vishamru. I'm going to try to do the moves while sitting. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. B'nei Uvein, b'nei Yisrael, od hi leolam, od hi leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, Asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. And I would invite you now, if you are able, to please rise for the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekoneh Hakol Vezocher Chaste Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei Vnehem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומק נופלים ורופא חולים. ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We take these next few moments for silent prayer. Please continue to page 62. You may be seated when you are finished or when you feel ready. Ose Shalom can be found on page 62. Ose Shalom bimroma, Uyase Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. At this time, we would normally turn to our Torah service, Siddur Kriyat HaTorah, but as I mentioned, we're letting the Torah stay safe and sound and warm in the synagogue. But I did want to take a few moments for a Misha Berach, because this is our opportunity to think of those in our community who need a little bit of healing, whether it is body or mind or spirit. So I would encourage you, if you have names, I will read our congregational list. If you have other names, I would encourage you to add them in the chat, and I will try to put them up. But as I said, I'm still I'm not used to being chief cook and bottle washer when it goes on when we're on streaming. So I apologize if I don't get all the names up. But truly, whether they are spoken aloud, put on a screen, or held in our hearts, our prayers are directed towards them. So at this time, we are thinking of Kevin Ashton, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Batya Tali, Laura Cohen, Margaret Theodora Doty, Dan Dworkin, Jeffrey Four, Sanford Friedlander, Stephen Gould, Marlene Harris, Debbie Herman, Jason King, Kevin Knox, Letitia Kruger, Margaret Lewicki, Debbie Matthews, Harav Miriam Bat Shifra Vipinchas, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Bat Sarah, Michael Yitzchak Ben Esther Malka, Vivian Morgan, Tim Ober, Elspeth Olson, Leslie Pansky, Carol Pevney, Judy Ramos, Sarah Bat Chava, Shayna Bracha Bat Esther Malka, Phil Shallett, Chris Stanton, Petra Suber, Bobby Wells, Usher Zalech. We also think this Shabbat of those in Israel and the Middle East who were affected by war. We are thinking of Trenton McGregor, Airman First Class, along with other military personnel who are serving in that part of the world as well. We're thinking of other communities in this world where there is not peace and people suffer. And we are also thinking of those affected by coronavirus and long COVID. Unfortunately, numbers are going up again. So I hope that if you are out and about, you are taking precautions and protecting yourself and other loved ones. Our song for healing is Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach, which can be found on page. See, I have no one to shout out the pages, so I got to find it myself. 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habrecha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach imotenu Mekor habrecha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. I should have mentioned this earlier, but as we're about to get into the sermon, if you find yourself getting bored, I would like to take a little poll whether the proper greeting on an evening like this is Shabbat Shasno or Snowbot Shalom. So feel free to put your votes in the comments. Jay Goldberg, if you're out there, I would assume you have strong feelings about this and possibly a third option. So let us hear what the people have to say. Little boy went to school one day, got some crayons and started to draw. He put colors all over the paper, for color was what he saw. And the teacher said, "What are you doing, young man?" "I'm painting flowers," he said. She said, "It's not the time for art, young man. And anyway, flowers are green and red. There's a time for everything, young man, and a way it should be done. You've got to show concern for everyone else, for you're not the only one." And she said, "Flowers are red, young man, and green leaves are green. There's no need to see flowers any other way than the way they always have been seen." But the little boy said, "There are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in the flower, and I see everyone." So begins Harry Chapin's song, "Flowers Are Red." As it goes on, the boy and the teacher continue to clash until eventually she breaks him down, and even after he goes to a new, more creative and open school, he keeps repeating what she told him about flowers being only green and red. Vaydaber Moshe, Kain el b'nei Yisrael, v'lo shamu el Moshe, mikotzer ruach, u'me'avodah kashe. But when Moses told this to his Israelites, they would not listen to Moses, their spirits crushed by cruel bondage. When God first approaches Moses about speaking to the people, Moses tries to get out of it. "What if they don't believe me?" he asks. God assures Moses that indeed they will not. So God gives Moses a magic stick and some cool tricks to convince everyone. Our stubbornness, apparently, is an open secret. And often when we read this passage and talk about our reluctance to believe Moses, we joke about how stubborn we are as a people. Indeed, throughout the Torah, we will be referred to as a stiff-necked people. But what Moses encounters here is not just stubbornness, but in reality, a broken spirit. Miktsar haruach, ruach being spirit, and ktsar meaning short. Ruach is also breath. Moses encounters us, and we are literally short of breath. Anyone who has experienced shortness of breath can understand, one, why the abbreviation is SOB, but also can understand how terrifying it is. You breathe as much as you can, but it's never enough. So too is life in slavery. Rabbi Aaron Leib Smokler offers a teaching drawn from the wisdom of Sfat Emet. She says that Moses could not speak because the people could not hear. That is, he could not communicate with a people so very shut down and unavailable to his messaging, with no a priori buy-in, no openness to taking in new things, Moses, the harbinger of hope, was effectively silenced. It was not physical speech impediment that Moses was worried about, according to these sources, but that he could not offer any words strong enough for the people to be able to hear him. Rabbi Leib Smokler explains, exile is not a place. It is a condition of being in which we are closed down, shut off, unable to receive, unable to activate our faculties of imagination. It is the state of being stuck, folded into ourselves, unable to open to the presence of another. To exit exile, then, we must render ourselves vulnerable, capacious, and receptive. Rabbi Leib Smokler goes on to explain that should we be able to open ourselves to empty ourselves, our breath, our spirit, our ruach will return to our expansive souls, our neshama. When our spirit is broken, our breath is gone. We cannot do anything. Sometimes we cry, often in short jags, not unlike being short of breath. The solution, though, requires us, as hard as it is, to keep breathing and to open ourselves. God could have wiped out the Egyptians, cleared a path for us to the promised land, made everything right, fulfilled all of the promises in an instant. But we were not ready for that. It may be that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, causing even more pain, not to convince Pharaoh beyond any doubt or to punish him, but because it was we who needed to be convinced. We needed to come to a full appreciation of God's power, love, and mercy, particularly after so many generations of pain and exile. And indeed, we were stubborn, not to Moses, but in the face of oppression and tyranny. We survived. But when redemption, when it came, we were too hurt to rejoice, too weary to take part. In our lives today, we are dealing with so many challenges. Personal ones, private ones, the stress and the anguish of the world, the realities of politics and finance, of our physical health, our mental health, and any one of these things can be broken or cut short and crush our ruach. Any one of these things can take our breath away. Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt writes that our Torah story comes this week to remind us that Kotzer Ruach is not the end of the story. Being in dire straits, unable to breathe, unable to focus, hearts and souls unable to hope is not the end of the story. On the contrary, it's the first step toward liberation. In the Torah, God helps us because we cried out. Like a newborn who cries in taking their first breath in the world, sometimes we need to cry out as well. And we can only get help if we ask, if we cry out for it. We cannot oppress the sadness out of someone. We cannot fight our way out of it. Our spirits will remain crushed, even sometimes when what weighs on them goes away. But the pain does not have to go on forever. While we may not always have control over what afflicts us, we do have some say in our morale. But until we take charge and get the help and support that we need, we will often continue to feel the weight of oppression. That is what we are here for together. That is why we have a community. It is one of the most important parts of being in community. It's one of the most important parts of my job, listening, counseling, comforting people and helping them. And it is something that we all can do and must do for one another. That is what enables us to repair a broken spirit, to return someone from exile. When singing the song Flowers Are Red, Harry Chapin would finish, and the song would end with the boy broken and repeating the lines that he had been told over and over again. And then almost in a whisper, Harry would say, "But oh, if there were still some way to have our children say, there are so many colors in the rainbow, so many colors in the morning sun, so many colors in the flowers, and I see every one." One of Moses' greatest achievements was helping to get us out of bondage, both physically and mentally. He is our teacher because he continues to show us how we can get out of bondage ourselves. With his example and our love and our chesed for one another, may we too emerge from bondage and repair broken spirits. Ken Yehi Ratzon, Shabbat Shalom. At this time, we will turn to the Aleinu, which can be found at the bottom of page 282. Once again, I invite you, if you are able, to please rise. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own Again, I encourage you to add names in the comments if you are saying Kaddish for someone as well. At this time, we remember Jason Geddes, Eric Rosenberg, Tova Bat Meir Vatirza, Raymond Russell Riker, Judith Tamkin, David Torgman, Lorenzo Otero, Anita Goldwasser, Jamie Smith, Mark Umlas, Francine Catherine Barr, David Ben Avraham, Tatiana Marie Granoff, Millie Ralston, Carol Ann Garris, Esther Bat Evron, Scott Johnson, Eric Hobson, Daniel B. Stage, Sue Berkhammer. And on this Shabbat, we commemorate yahrzeits for Inga Kaplan, Alan M. Greenblatt, Shirley Kantrowitz, Matthew Boris McKean, Hadassah Small, Leah Kahn Garrell, Peter A. Alsberg, Ph.D., Howard Freeman Weidman, Rosalie Krochmal, Irving Rappaport, DMD, Anna Mays, Elaine Pokart, Barbara Ballantyne, Hyman Beckman, Diana Ewing, Adelia Adler, Max Horwitz, Julius Weistein. We add to that list the names of those who have perished due to violence in the Middle East and our human family throughout the world. If it is your custom, I invite you to please rise for Kaddish Yatom, which can be found on page 294. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Chirute, Viamlich Malchute, B'chayachon, Uveomechon, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uviazman Kariv Vimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mavarach Le'olam U'Me'almaya. Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yipa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnaseh. V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal. Shmei D'Kedusha Barichu. Leila Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata. Tushbechata V'Nechemata. Ta'amiran B'Alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chaim Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mramav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'el Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all who mourn, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. I will invite up Rabbi Benjamin to do our announcements this evening. Well, thank you. Thank you to Mike Stombaugh for helping get the technical aspects. I texted him way more times than I should have this evening. So thank you very much to him. Let's see. We did not have an oneg this evening. So instead, I will take this moment to remind you that onegs are a wonderful way to celebrate a simcha or to just bring lots of fun food for all of your friends here at Temple Sinai. So if you are interested, please look into that and check that out because it's really a wonderful opportunity for us to just continue Shabbat a little bit longer together, to talk, to have a little nash, and all those good things. Following the service, we will be, sorry about that. We will be doing our Yisma Zoom, our virtual oneg. SinaiReno.org/Zoom will get you there. I will be there as well. So I hope to see all of the folks who regularly join, and maybe some other folks, because you're not getting a chance to see each other in person. But it's when we can't get together, it's the next best thing. So hope to see all of you there. Tomorrow morning, the return of Torah study. We are back to Torah study at 10 a.m. via Zoom. SinaiReno.org/Torah study. We are in Exodus, just as we are in our weekly readings, although in a slightly different spot. But it is a really, really wonderful group and a great opportunity to wrestle with what this text actually says and what's going on, and whether you are a frequent participant or you've long wondered, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe this snowy weekend is the perfect time to come join us for that. We would love to have you on that as well. No prior experience is necessary. Other things coming up on the 14th, that's Sunday. Sinai School returns at 9:30 a.m. And of course, at 9:30, we start with our a weekday family service. Everyone is welcome to that. It's about a half an hour long. It's got music. It's just terrific. So if you're looking for just a little more prayer in your life, you're welcome to join us for that. And later that day at 4 o'clock is the MLK Junior event, Building Our Community. This is co-sponsored by the Nevada Interfaith Association, an organization that we have long been partnered with. It is at the McKinley Art Center on Riverside. I will be there offering some words, as will a number of other interfaith partners and people from the community in honoring Dr. King. So if you are able, I would love to see you there and have you join us for that event. Coming up on Tuesday is Lunch with the Rabbis. Please come at noon. Bring a lunch if you'd like to eat, and just hang out with us and schmooze, talk, because we got to eat and we might as well eat with friends. So we'd love to see you there. It's always interesting, depending who comes and what people want to talk about. So we hope you can join for that. And then that evening at 7 p.m. is our Crafter Schmooze. This is where we come in and people bring projects, just whatever they've been working on, sewing, knitting, crochet, wood burning, macrame, you name it. If it's a passion of yours, bring it on in. Or if you just want to come and hang out and see people doing interesting things and making all sorts of art, the more the merrier. It's always a good time. And then looking ahead to next Friday, oh my goodness, we got all sorts of good stuff Friday. On Friday at 10 a.m., we have a Rosh Chodesh hike. I'm sorry, let me say it again. A Rosh Chodesh hike, not a hike. I don't know. This is a fantastic way to celebrate the new month. If you are curious about it, contact Mara Langer. That's Mara, M-A-R-A, at jewishnevada.org. In the evening, our youth cabal is having a Shabbaton. That is for the I guess the older kids in our congregation. It is an overnight youth event. It will end at 6 p.m. on Saturday. So if you've got kids, they should come to that. It's a lot of fun. I know my kids will be there. They always have a good time. So we'd love to have people participating in that. There is adult supervision if that's something you're concerned about. So everything is safe and in control, but gives the kids a chance to be part of the community without their parents around and get to be just kids. And for the bigger kids, I guess, on that same evening at 7:30, we are going to have our regular service. That's at 7:30. And the Oneg is being hosted by Daryl and Vita Dworkin in honor of their 49th anniversary. So an early mazel tov to the both of them. Come out for that. And the only other thing I will draw your attention to is in a couple of weeks, on the 21st, we have our mid-year congregational forum. That's in person and in Zoom. That will be at 10:15. And it's your chance to find out all of the things that are going on and get some sense of what the board has been up to and what to look for in the future. The one other thing I will share is from Rabbi Myra that there is an MLK dinner on Monday night. If you look into it to get a ticket, it is quite an event. So hopefully we can also have some folks coming out for that. Okay, I lied. One other thing, I keep saying this because I have a personal stake in it, is that we are getting ready to start our preparations for the Purim Spiel. This year we are doing Hadassah, and we need you. There's all sorts of things. We have singing parts, we have speaking parts, we have parts where you just are part of the fun and the excitement, and parts off stage if you're more of a stage crew person. But really, we can't do it without all of you. One year I did a Purim Spiel and did all the parts myself. Not the greatest. So please let me know if you are interested in being a part of that. And we will find a way for everyone to have something to do, because it's just a lot of fun. And the more people that are in it, the more fun it is for the entire community. I know I always used to love seeing who would show up for these things and who would appear on stage. So please consider that if you have not already. All right, I think that's enough announcements for you. There's, I think, even more stuff in virtual Siddur, and as always on our website and on our app, if you are looking for even more ways to connect and participate in our wonderful little community. Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam, which can be found on page 321. Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem kol Yetzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefso kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Livado Imloch Nahora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'ein Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'hamizra V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Chevli B'etzara V'hu Nisi Umanosli Manat Kosi B'yom Ekra B'yado Avkid Ruchi B'yetishan Me'ahira V'imruchi Geviati Adonai li V'lo ira. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful, warm, and safe Shabbat wherever you are. Please get lots of wonderful rest this weekend. I hope to see many of you on the Yisma Zoom, and if not, I hope to see you again in person real soon. Shabbat Shalom, Laila Tov.